to Slick Speaks. This is the first episode of Slick Speaks, so welcome into my world, basically in my mind. And basically it's going to be topics that, really raise an eyebrow for me. Being that I don't like to make light of the situation, but this whole situation feels like a post-apocalyptic type era because everybody is literally all alone, social distancing themselves from people, being that the coronavirus is now in Florida and there's the cases are literally multiplying day to day. So I'm just here to help you and help myself too, because most of these activities can really help you in this social distancing and this whole weird quarantine era that we are in, that we didn't even notice that. Being that we entered 2020, we thought 2020 was going to be like the peak of like our existence, just like every year is, but being that, we enter a new decade, 2020 was going to be like something big that was going to happen, but not seeing that the first quarter was going to end in this pandemic that some people are taking lightly, which I mean, spring breakers, please go home, like right now. Just kidding, but honestly, be safe out here, be cautious. COVID-19 is nothing to play with. But here are some ideas for you to cope in this post-apocalyptic, why would I say post-apocalyptic? This pandemic that we are in right now. How would I cope, or how would you cope throughout this social distancing and being quarantined in home? And this is my perspective on how should we cope here on Slick Speaks. I would say, first off, we need to get off our devices. I know it's easy to say that we're gonna spend around like 12 to 15 hours, being that I'm in the not age range, but the generation of millennials. We tend to be on our phone majority of our day. And I know that's a good bypass, or a good, basically a good, what's the word? Basically a good, I honestly lost my train of thought. But basically it's a bypass for us to get through our day, but being on our phone really does not help us on the anxiety in it and on the depression end, because usually I know what I'm looking at is mostly homes or like vacation places, and I tend to get like very distraught because I'm like, I do want to go to places, I do want to go to the beach, and the fact that the beaches are closed, I can't even like actually enjoy not like a good sunset, but like a good sea breeze. And I know everybody does want to get out and hang out with their friends, but in this day and age, this goes for all range groups, from baby boomers to Gen Zs. We need to stay as far apart as we can towards each other. And being that we are on our cellular devices throughout the day, we should give like a certain time to ourselves. I give like an hour to myself a day. I mean, not saying that you should give an hour to yourself a day, but you should stop and smell the roses. And moving on, you should create a routine. After you get off your phone, create a routine of fun. Not like a routine of like stuff you need to be done, like I don't even think goal routines can work in this day and age, because being that we're so restricted from either going to work or not even going to school, or not even plotting your next move to get to where you need to be. Just plan a routine of fun so you can like decompress, and you can honestly decompress and just stay calm, being that all that we see on the news through I'm not even gonna say the names, but all that we see through the news is just death toll rates, cases, and people being tested. Every channel that you switch to is usually something bad. It's never nothing. It's never nothing positive towards this COVID-19 pandemic. So I would say create a routine of fun, something that disconnects you, not really disconnects you from reality, but keeps you grounded in reality. To say, hey, I actually stimulated my mind today, and that will actually bring down anxiety and depression.
Hector's on the line.
Oh, Hector's on the line? Oh, Hector, come in. I want to know how you cope. Hey, Hector, how you doing?
Well, I was kind of waiting for you to,
To finish.
well, not to finish, to chime me in.
I didn't, what is it? I just got the word that you were on the line. What's going on?
Yeah, fine. I don't want to bring in the backstage stuff, but you could just said the password was the same one as last time
What? What have I been saying?
for the VMix. Never mind.
Okay. But Hector, what are you doing to cope through this pandemic?
Anything and everything I can.
Like, in the state of like mental health, like, have you been like, what would be something that you would recommend to somebody in this time that we are in right now, this new normal that we didn't even want to be in?
Honestly, that's a good question. Mostly because I've been doing a terrible job at it.
Why? Why do you say you've been doing a terrible job at it?
I don't really want to share, but I need someone to talk to.
Oh man, you can create, like, honestly, you can create what is it? Go online like I've been doing through,
The chat groups?
the help of PlayStation, which I don't want to be on, but for some reason I've been headed towards PlayStation. But you can like
That's a great outlet.
yeah.
Hanging out with friends is probably the one thing I miss the most. I want to be with my friends.
Correct.
I miss not being able to go out.
Me too.
I miss not being able to verbally abuse each other.
No, me too. I feel the same way. Me and my friends used to jones each other like every time we get, but now I rarely see them or I rarely get in contact with them, and FaceTime can only do so much.
I don't even FaceTime. I mostly open Skype groups and play games with them.
Seriously? Oh, I don't do that. Either they meet me online while I'm playing a game, or they just FaceTime me.
Well, you're playing on PS4,
Yeah.
which is a video game.
Correct.
I'm talking more about the board gaming side, or
Board
the
gaming
pencil
side?
paper RPG side.
No, but that is a good method because like board games, what is it? Health and physicians are telling people to go back to board games, mostly like solitaire type games, to actually.
Well,
cope with the
unfortunately, you
pandemic.
need people for board games.
True,
But pencil paper RPGs,
there's
that's something completely different.
There's electronic board games, so it's like you can play online through, various ways of connecting through people to online. Because I have a Monopoly game, and I play with majority of my cousins and some friends, and Monopoly gets really intense.
I know, especially when you implicate the rob the bank rule.
No, seriously, because like when I go bankrupt, I get very.
Yeah,
I'm
what I'm talking
the same person
about
when I go
is
bankrupt.
playing something that lets you flex your creative muscles.
No, seriously, like I feel like you can only flex your creative muscles to a certain extent, though. You have to
Yeah, but I'm not talking.
take a break.
Well, the game of Monopoly, obviously.
Correct.
But if you're playing like Dungeons and Dragons, different thing.
Correct.
So that's why I do with most of my friends nowadays.
But
We play
that's
like
cool.
long 6-hour games of just running around a dungeon with playing your dumb characters we come up with.
Really? I mean, I never really got into games like that. I mostly was like,
It seems intimidating, I know.
yeah, it seems like a whole lot of work to me, to be honest. Like, to not.
Well,
to
of
be fair,
course
but,
you're
like,
reading
to
a
be
book.
honest.
Well, you need to read a book, so yeah. It's not
Well,
much idea of fun.
You can, because I'm at that phase. Like, you can read so much books, but how can you apply it if the world is social distancing itself?
Well, I already told you. Get your friends, get their numbers, open up a Skype chat. And
My friends are
just
social to an extent, just like me. So it's kind of like after we're done this one activity, we're kind of until tomorrow.
really, because we spend like hours just talking about dumb stuff,
No, but
like
me,
movies we didn't like, games we didn't like.
but me and like I don't know who can agree with me on this. It's just like I tend to like my alone time a lot. It's really weird,
Well, it's
but I do like my alone time a lot. It really clears my head, especially like I create stuff while I'm in my alone time, and it's not even that I'm pressuring myself to do it. It just happens. Kind of like
I think deep
feel-
down everyone likes their
I
alone
feel
time.
like I feel like that's how like Picasso or somebody was made or something like that. I just feel like my alone time is always precious to me, so I'll never like.
Well,
What is it? I'll hang
you
out.
have
I'll
plenty
hang
of
out for a
time
certain
now.
extent though. But knowing myself, I
Well,
always tend.
Everyone hangs out to a certain extent. That's how hanging out works.
Correct. Yeah. But do you know that what is it? Creating a fun routine throughout the day, like really. I mean, what is your plans throughout today?
Well, right now you're calling between doing
Besides
laundry.
hanging out after this call.
I'm not hanging out after this call. My friends
no.
got jobs.
But no, but I'm just trying to say like after this call, like what is
Laundry. I'm doing laundry.
laundry?
Yeah.
I feel like you should do like something like somersaults in the front yard. Something like to get your mind really going.
I could try, but I might break
that's just
my
me
legs
on
in
a
the
random
process.
thought. Huh?
I could try that, but I might break a leg in the process.
What else can you do at home?
Well, you can draw. You can write.
Have you
You
gotten
can
in? Like I got
look.
into work. I got into working out to an extent because I just do yoga or I do some weird weight lift training.
Well, that's what I do. Well, that's what I've been doing since December. I didn't need a pandemic to do that.
I mean,
But if you haven't
I
done it
think I needed
before, that's a good start.
I feel like this pandemic, even though that it is bad, is kind of therapy on us because we did take a lot of things for granted.
So what you're saying is it's a few months of introspection.
Correct. And some people feel like they need that social.
Connection?
Yeah, that social connection, just like me, but only to a certain point.
Well, take this from an introvert's perspective. Introspection can be a scary thing
Okay.
because you essentially have to get rid of everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think about other people. You can't think about things you've done or the things around you.
Mm-hmm.
You can only reflect on yourself.
Oh,
And doing that could be terrifying.
say if I have anxiety, what can I do to calm down, from your perspective?
You're asking the wrong person.
No. Okay, what is it? I'm so sorry. I thought I was.
Look, you're talking to one person who feels bad for
but-
not going there.
No, but I seen a question that says I have anxiety. How can I calm down? I would say, if you want to calm down, for anxiety, I would say stop and smell the roses. Being that you're in one place, basically some people are majority of the days are spent in their rooms or at work. I feel as though you should calm down, smell the roses, either play a board game, doodle, even though you're not an artist.
What you're saying is break routine.
Yeah, break routine because doodling, and it's weird. Like, it is kind of something that's like out of the box. It's basically, you could just take a sketch pad or take a piece of paper and just doodle whatever you want to, but that really lowers down anxiety and depression.
Well,
And
doing
you don't
something
even have to be
expressive.
a Picasso to do it. You just have to stimulate your mind to a certain extent to actually calm yourself down, because anxiety, and I know I'm not saying, I don't know if I do have it, but I know I can't be in one place majority of my day, I feel like I have wasted a day. And
So what you're saying is you feel anxious.
yeah.
Well, everyone
Like
feels a little anxious.
not have to do something, but I just can't be in one place at same
That if
time.
you haven't done more than one thing, you didn't do anything.
Correct. That's how I usually feel throughout majority of my days. But getting organized can be like one other thing to lower down anxiety, because you can get organized physically and mentally. And basically throughout this time, a lot of people have been losing jobs, and I know people are out of jobs. And I'm saying that we are going to get over this hump through the help of not loan adjusters, but basically there are people out there that are helping you get over this financial crunch. So take a breather, do some research,
Really? Oh.
and figure out and figure out the ways, because they are out there. It's just like they haven't been promoting it. They only been promoting the whole fact of this pandemic and these cases that are multiplying at a day-to-day basis. There's people out there handing out either loans for businesses, or basically personal loans to help you out throughout this financial crunch. And there's renters actually post-dating rent, because knowing that people are out of work.
Postponing.
Yeah, to actually help out this pandemic that we are in right now. And board games.
Well, if I
just
can interrupt you for a quick second.
Yeah.
Supposedly, with all of the layoffs, they are actually looking for people to work. It's just for a lot less.
True. I mean, if you are willing to do that and work for a lot less in this pandemic, you can. But I feel like we are going to get over this hump. So I feel like selling yourself short to work cheaper with longer hours and putting yourself at risk.
Yeah, but look where I work right now. I can't sell myself any shorter than this.
I mean, I feel as though until you reach that rock bottom, and I feel like I kind of reached that point at a certain point in time.
Well, you're working there, aren't you?
Like a rock bottom. And what? We're working here? This was kind of like a peak to me, to be honest with you. But like, I did reach that certain point of like, wow, I really went this far. But I feel like you shouldn't sell yourself short. Even though they are hiring, you are putting yourself at risk. So we are gonna get over this hump. We just have to be more cautious, be more courteous to people, especially people around the ages of 50 to 60, because they are most prone to getting this disease harder than us millennials and Gen Zs.
Tell me about it. That's kind of made going to interviews a bit of a risk.
I mean, as long as I feel as though, as long as we keep our minds stimulated in a positive way, so glass half full, not glass half empty, we can get over
Man, just a
this.
glass.
I understand that the news only pushes out glass half empty stuff, and it's so hard
can you
not
really
to
blame
say,
them?
oh my gosh, we're never gonna get over this. Look at what's happening overseas. Look at all the death tolls. Are we really running out of
Well,
masks?
if you'd like some good news, South Korea did just ban their. I mean, not the ban. They
Sure,
lifted
but-
their quarantines.
True, but what is it? Not to sound. I don't want to sound like being very not. It's not
Overly optimistic?
Not self-centered in a way, but I'm like, I know the U.S. I'm pretty sure nobody was expecting it to come, but it came anyway. So I feel as though that we should figure out a way internally to solve this problem.
Hopefully before November.
Negate the increase in these cases that are happening, because people are getting tested more frequently now. And honestly, before anybody has like a panic attack, stop and smell the roses, because not saying that it's all that bad. It's just like, I feel like people put a lot of pressure on themselves to a point that they didn't know that they can reach that peak or like that edge until it already happened, and then they're in a panic attack, but they don't know what's actually going on, but you're probably anxious, or you're, what is it? I'm not saying, yeah, basically you're in a panic attack, or you're kind of like
So
me.
basically, how do you
You're
basically have
kind
a
of like
panic
me,
attack?
always in a depressive, not always in a depressive state, but like going in and out of depressive states. Like, are we really gonna get through this? Is this really happening? There's no mask for any nurses. Like, I can't even get masks in by, what is it, Amazon Prime's 2-day thing. I have to wait
Well,
like
you
3
could just
weeks
do what I
to
did
get
at the
masks.
beginning. You could just do what I did at the beginning. Use a scarf.
Use a scarf, but that's not a mask. You see, that's just.
No, but that's exactly what a mask is for.
Not in my book. If I look up mask and I look up scarf, they're two different things. I don't think a
Yeah, but
scarf
why
can
do
work.
you
I don't
need
think
the
a
mask
scarf
for in the
can work.
first place?
Hey, if China's getting over the hump, we can get over the hump. And
Wow, you didn't answer my question,
we have
but
the
okay.
technology and we have the manpower to get through the hump. So basically, keep your mind stimulated, be positive in this epidemic. COVID-19 is a big thing. Do not take it any more lightly as it is. And I know, like, in my generation, a lot of people do take it lightly. Like, it's just something that we're gonna get over, like Ebola or the bird flu. Like,
To
some
be fair,
people,
Ebola was kind of overhyped. It's serious, and
no,
if
but
you have
like,
it, you'll get
what
it.
is it? If a pastor comes up to the pulpit and says, "I'm turning my back on," if the pastor comes up to a pulpit and he's saying, "I'm turning my back on COVID-19," in a packed house of church members, it's like you have to be more concerning as a human being to say, "Hey, COVID-19 is something serious. It's not just like a bird flu. It's not Ebola. Like,
Wasn't
us
swine
being
flu,
Gen
wasn't
Zs
SARS.
and millennials." And I just want to say thank you, Hector, for calling in. You were honestly, like, you did get some jitters out of me for my first show, Slick Speaks. But
Well, it makes you feel any better. You do sound more coherent than I do.
me? Hey man, I try my best. Trust me. I put on my pants one leg at a time.
Really? I do both at a time.
Oh man, you gonna
It took some
fall.
practice.
No, don't do that. One leg at a time.
It takes
All right,
practice,
Hector.
that's all I'm going to say.
All right, I'll see you later.
I want to come back.
All right, bye. But I just want to point out the fact that COVID-19, guys, honestly, is nothing to play around with. It's not like Ebola. It's not like the bird flu. You can't turn your back on it and it disappears. It's really something that's an epidemic that is getting everybody in this Tri-County area, including Broward. For some reason, people do think that they're invincible, and you're not invincible to a virus, okay? And me being like, I do have complications with being anemic, so I tend to stay as clean as possible. So if you are thinking that you're the Incredible Hulk, and I've seen those Spring Breakers, if you are thinking that you're the Incredible Hulk, please leave it for Spring Break 2K21 until we get over this hump. And that's all from me, from Slick Speaks. Be kind to each other. I don't know why I said be kind to each other, but to lower down your stress levels, stay positive, create organization of fun, and after you wash your hands, I know there's a lot of people that wash their hands and don't want to use their hands because they feel as though their hands are going to get dirty, or they put their hands in gloves and don't use the glove, no, don't, basically try not to use their hands. Use your hands after you wash them, because not saying you should play in mud or like you should just get your hands dirty, but basically like pick up an instrument. If you have a piano, if you have a guitar, if you want to know how to cook. And cooking right now, I would say it should go up because you are using your hands in cooking. So use your hands. The fact that you're touching something keeps you grounded. And that's not, I should have wrote down the person that did the study, but basically, having the sense of touch keeps you grounded and it leaves you in this state of like calmness. So use your hands, creative organization and fun. Put down the cell phones to a certain extent. So use your cell phone only in like, not saying dire emergencies, but when necessary. And it's not necessary all the times because we're just reposting memes and I'm only speaking to my generation. But go back to either working out or doing yoga or doing stress relief exercises from breathing in and out. You can head over and play some board games, some solitaire card games. And I would say if you do have a game console, you can download all of these Hasbro games and you can connect with your friends, because I'm on a Monopoly tournament right now. And I never had intense Monopoly until I actually played Monopoly via game console. Get organized mentally and physically. So not work in a clean space, but have a clean space and have a clean mind, because you really open up your mind and really decompress. And doodle, even though you're not an artist, not saying that I doodle, but I will try it and see if it actually works, and I'll let you know if it does work. But doodling, just basically getting a pad, getting a pen, any writing utensil, and just doodling whatever you need or whatever you feel like is coming out of you really decompresses you. And last but not least, stop and smell the roses. Some people are not stopping and smell the roses because they, from what the news standards and what the papers are pushing out, from what the news stations are pushing out, from what people are saying, this pandemic is literally everywhere. Any corner that you turn, you just see a lot. You just see a lot of people either in a worry or standing 10 feet, worry that somebody might just sneeze on them or somebody might just touch them. Stop and smell the roses, people. Be grounded. Stay on, do not drift off into this, not false reality, but this reality that was placed on you through the media and through papers. Stay grounded. We're gonna make it through, and be positive. Glass half full, correct? Yeah. And this has been me here on Slick Speaks on episode 1. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for some more action on Slick Speaks.